Hello, my beautiful people with beautiful souls. Praise is expression of gratitude and as an act of admiring someone for his worthiness. Praise inspires for brilliance. Praise puts smiles on faces and holds on to faith. It motivates people to strive to work at the highest level with full wisdom and ability. We praise God for the gift of life, and I praise you for being at the right place to be. This is gold. You're highly welcome. Be greatly inspired. Let's go for gold.
Today on Gold.
Someone has to be the winner, the conqueror, a legend. Why not you? They're just like you. They have their fears and doubts too. They are able to become a champion today because they overcame a lot of problems and challenges. You too can become a champion. Be inspired by the story of our champion of the day and go for gold, just like our champion. He helps people to enjoy the journey of life through his empathy, love, and caring for people. He is an author, a man of God, and a professional coach. Sometimes the best legacy you can leave for your kids and the world is a good name. The son of a professor intended to write at least 200 books before he will clock 80 years of age. LEAP Foundation is all about empowering youth and women of Africa in these areas: leadership, innovation, finance, and entrepreneurship. His inspirational story about Queen is such an eye-opener for those who think belittling others is the way to go in life. To the youth, make sure you have a coach, and most importantly, be humble and practice delayed gratification instead of instant gratification. Let's go for gold with our champion of the day.
My name is Emmanuel. Some people call me Doc, Dr. Emmanuel Imevbore. What I do essentially is help people to enjoy the journey of life. To break that down is, in life, we all need someone loyal, sometimes professional, understanding, knowledgeable, and someone's got your back to help you go through the journey of life, because life is tough. And the person who does that best is a coach. So I'm a professional coach. I'm also a pastor, and I write books, author of about 30 books. I give lectures. I facilitate conferences and workshops. All is geared towards enjoying the journey of life. In giving credit to who credit is due, the foundation that my parents laid in, I will say, 3 major areas. Number 1, a good name. I travel around the world, and many places where I get to, as far as China, Italy, Philippines, people ask me, are you related to Professor Emmanuel? So a good name, that's number 1. Number 2, good education, like I said. And I'll say the third is showing you the way of the Lord, how to have great values. So even all those 3 have helped me in business. In any area where you are regarded as, I'll use that word loosely, an expert, or you have expertise, or more than the average knowledge, you should seek to do 3 things. Train people there, because you see, knowledge is a resource. You release and you retain. You cannot lose knowledge because you've released it. If anything, it's even added more to you. So one way is to train people. The second is to write books. We read the Bible. Imagine if there were no people writing biographies. People write. And so a leader, as I say, is a reader. So passing knowledge through training, workshops, and then, of course, I'm biased, you must coach. All right, coach others. Now, those are 3 areas that I believe I've done a little more than my dad. But what drives me is not money. What drives me is value. But the Key thing about value, if you create value, money will come because money attracts value. Success to me is understanding your purpose and achieving it. Money could be included, but it's not necessarily money. It's in a way like you set a goal, you understand the goal, and you achieve it. But I believe that there's something greater than success, and that is what I call significance. Success is you, me, achieving this. Significance is when you help others to achieve. That's when, really you have made impact, you have influenced other people, you have made a difference. And it's a very simple way that I describe success, all right? Arithmetically or in a formula. And it's unique knowledge plus increased capacity plus good attitude minus inhibition. Unique knowledge, meaning that every one of us is unique. You have a knowledge I will not be able to access or know in a million years. When you are aware of your uniqueness and you position yourself to use that knowledge for advantage or your path to success. Number 2, plus increased capacity. Capacity is expandable ability. Usain Bolt has an ability to run 100 meters in 9-point-something seconds. I don't have that ability, so I cannot build capacity in an area where I don't have an ability. Then, plus good attitude. It's not any worth that you have knowledge, you have capacity, but you have a horrible attitude. You can teach people skills, but they've got to teach themselves the attitude. So it's a good attitude that will help you to understand that you can actually succeed because you have this knowledge and you've built this capacity from an ability. Then there's the last one. I said minus inhibition. What is inhibition? Inhibition is that thing that says, what if? I'm sure you've thought of wanting to do something great and something will just come to your mind. Hey, will this happen? What if? There's laziness sometimes, there's procrastination, there's fear and all that. Everything we've seen around us today is a dream, someone's dream. And don't tell me that they didn't have anything that would have appeared to them like, oh, it may not work. But they overcame that inhibition, and today we celebrate them.
Guilt is not only the commission. Guilt is also the omission to do anything about the commission. Remember, evil flourishes when a good man stands by and do nothing. Think about it. And what can you do to make this world a better place for all? Let's go for an inspiring break on gold. We are coming back. Don't go nowhere. If you can't feed 100 people, please just feed only one, because I sincerely know no one can do everything, but everyone can do something. I promise you, if you can hear one another's prayers, even God will be relieved of some of his burdens. Please let your heart be golden and help somebody today.
Hi, my name is Hannekke van Linge, and I'm the founder and current director of Nosh Food Rescue, NPC, and terribly, terribly pleased to be here on Gold with you. So I inherited a soup kitchen in 2015 because I have trouble saying no when I see people in need. I inherited a soup kitchen. And through that process, I discovered what food waste was all about. Somebody came with 2 bags of loaves one day, said, can you use this for your soup kitchen? And that set me on this path of finding out about food waste and food surplus. And I was constantly surrounded by the dire need out there. So I ended up growing it. And now in our last 3 years, we've done over 7.5 million meals out of produce that has gone to waste. We don't like to waste anything. It's really not the right thing to do while there are so many people going hungry. So that's really the ethos and where Nosh started and where we are at now. So it's hard to look at individual projects because we are constantly operations-based. We are constantly rescuing and sourcing produce. And sometimes that means that we can't work on projects which focus more on the longer term. But like I said, the 7.7 million meals we've done in the last 3 years, I think that is a project in itself. We really want to focus on skills development and training, working with our beneficiary network. We have about 75 active beneficiary organizations that we help with food. So shelters, soup kitchens, feeding schemes, ECDs, old age homes. But we have a waiting list, when last I counted, of about 170 organizations that are still looking for assistance. And not a day goes by that we don't get more requests for aid. So the projects that we really want to go with is national growth. Next year, we really want to see if we can reach more people and more organizations, because those 7.5 million meals is purely in Gauteng, mostly around Johannesburg and surrounds. And also to start really on our skills development and training and empowering our beneficiary organizations to get involved in the projects that we want to move forward. That's a slightly hard one. I get a little bit cross sometimes. One of my favorite quotes is, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. We are all in some position to help. We may not be able to write a big check, but we might be able to give some of our time. We might not be able to give our time, but we might be able to help one of our neighbors. We can all engage with our communities. And that is my shout out to also my beneficiary organizations. We really want to engage the community, not only with NOSH, but with their own community. And there is need in every single community. Engage. Get up off your bum and engage. Open your mouth. You can always do something. And really don't think of yourself purely as an individual. And as an individual, I am worth nothing. As an individual, you have worth. You have value. You are gold as an individual. Whether you're a big organization or an individual working in an organization, there's a lot of potential. We can't let the world slide as it is. You know, the world is in a hard place right now. And there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of hardship. And I don't think there's anybody that's not facing any challenges. But I think our approach to how we handle those challenges is very important. We can either lie back and take it and get depressed and get miserable, or we can somehow say, I'm going to try and pick myself up and at least approach it with a positive attitude. So I don't want to spread false positivity. Your problems are real. Your challenges are real. You cannot deny that. But if you at least approach it with some level of positivity, understanding that you are not alone and trying to reach out, you're already a step further than you would have been if you just roll over and say, woe is me, my challenges are overcoming me. You have value in yourself. It is hard. It is hard for everybody out there. There's nobody that is not facing challenges. Keys to success, 28 hours in a day. People always say, Hannekke, how can you get so much done? There's 28 hours in my day. It's determination. It's getting up when something knocks you down. We are not publicly funded. We are not corporately funded in any meaningful way. So the generosity of the public and reaching those people is our key to success, and our key to growth is to reach more people. And I'm looking forward to reaching more people through Gold so that we can build this whole community around surplus and food security together, because there is value to be had. That is the key to success for me, is community. You are not alone. Like I said earlier, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Then there's another quote from St. Francis of Assisi. He says, start by doing what is necessary, then by doing what is possible. And soon you will find you are doing the impossible. And that is how you squeeze 28 hours into a 24-hour day. Start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and then you'll find you're doing the impossible. What do I wish for Gold? Not to give up, and to carry on spreading this inspiration, because we need more shining lights in our communities. And if you stand up as a one-man band and say, this is how I can reach the people around me, that will hopefully inspire other people to say, well, if he can do it, if she can do it, so can I. In my capacity, however limited that might be, I mustn't hide my light under a bucket. I must shine that light. And I think that for me is a message for Gold. Shine your light, get involved, and you have value as an individual.
You don't need to be perfect to inspire people, but many will be inspired by how you deal with your imperfections. Let us be inspired by people who came before us, our champions, our CEOs, our sheroes, our heroes, our kings and queens, right here on Gold.
Ed Sheeran dealt with many struggles in establishing himself, but what makes his story remarkable is the fact that in spite of dealing with so much negativity all around, he never let it affect his determination. This never say never attitude helped him establish himself as the biggest male pop star on the planet. Ed Sheeran knew music was what kept him alive, and he was highly motivated to do something about it. Is there something keeping you alive, and what are you willing to do about it? Well, he was finally noticed by Jamie Foxx, a local radio host, and in 2016, he was bestowed with the Grammy Award for the Best Song of the Year. He slept in the subway parks and he couldn't find an appropriate shelter. Did you know that he once struggled with stuttering as a child? Be inspired and keep going no matter what.
Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Now let's go on the street and ask our believers, how can we make this beautiful world livable, lovable, and enjoyable? It's Golden View on the street with our believers right now.
My name is Kolani Chelezi from Dobsonville. My favorite book is The Secret. I like this book because it inspires people, it motivates them, and it keeps them motivated to do better for themselves in life.
Inspiration is fleeting. When you find inspiration, capture it by taking action. Do something to fulfill your inspiration. Even if it is just a move, that mover will change your story. Our champion of the day is still here, inspiring souls on Gold. Remember, when you do it very well, you will be celebrated, just like our champion of the day. Be inspired.
There's a book I like to recommend. I just started reading the book, so it's like top of mind to me. It's Winning the Money Game. Winning the Money Game by a young South African, an ex-banker, and his name is Lambo Mambo. And it's a story of how many of us go through educational institutions and all that, but don't understand that money is a game. And so it's a story, it's very well, I'll recommend that to, to people, especially young people, because everyone has a relationship with money that is different. It's the currency of life. The second book I like to recommend is by Winning with People. John Maxwell is a very powerful, book. It just speaks about everything is about people. And if you are going to be, we use the word successful. Yeah. If you're going to be successful, if you're going to be impactful, if you're going to be influential, if you're going to be, it's people. But you've got to win with people. So I recommend those two books, apart from the Bible, of course. Okay, I have a quote I would like to recommend and which I apply to myself. You cannot make money an excuse at the same time. One must give. That's Jack Welch. There's another quote. Now, this is me, my own quote. Greatness that is in you is brought out through hardship. I like another quote by a good friend of mine, Tony Duville, all right, a partner and coach. He says, and I quote, "Shy salesmen have skinny children." I'll repeat it. Shy salesmen have skinny children. What that simply says, when you are too shy, you are selling, but you are shy to telling people, you're not going to earn anything. You're going to have your children are going to be skinny, nothing to eat, So there's this lady, her name is Queen. Well, I got to know her name later. She comes in clean and take our mess and so on. And I was wondering, why is Queen not sitting here? But obviously, people did not expect that a cleaner should be sitting where managers are sitting. But I'm the facilitator, and I insisted. So they called Queen. She thought she was in trouble. She came, and we asked her to sit down. So I explained the power name to her. And there is now the problem. What name can you choose from Q? It's a very difficult alphabet. And so, her bosses were laughing and so on. But I waited for her. And suddenly she said, I am queenly queen. Queenly queen. The moment she said, I'm queenly queen, she sat properly. And I realized energy. As coaches, we talk a lot about energy. So that's tracking energy. So what I did, I said, Queen, you know who a queen is? She said, yes. I said, as a queen, you are like the CEO of this organization now. Everybody here is your subordinate. Queen, what will you do different? What will you do to move this company forward? And Queen just went to town. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and everything. Nobody was laughing any longer. People were taking notes. Now, this is a cleaner. This is a tea girl. She's not a shareholder, but she sees herself as a stakeholder. But she never had the opportunity to express what she had inside of her that could move the organization forward. I'm happy to say, Queen from that day did not see herself as a cleaner. She saw herself as a queen. She still cleaned, she still served, but in her mind, she was a queen. The story ends with Queen asking the organization to sponsor her to go to university, which they did. She still worked for the same organization, and it ends with a beautiful ending where Queen becomes executive director of that same organization. And I'm happy to say I was her coach. The 4 keys to success for me is: number 1, purpose; number 2, plan; number 3, people; number 4, patience. My wish for gold is that, as gold is a resource that people aspire and want to associate with, Gold TV will be a household name. Gold TV, which has the desire to inspire people and make a difference in the world, will be one that will be touching people's lives. Today, people believe that there are no people around that can share good news, because what seems to sell, and it is usually said that what sells is bad news. There's too much bad news. My prayer, wish, desire for gold is that indeed you will continue to inspire people to see their lives as worth gold and more.
In a desert, when a lion wakes up, the lion will thank the Lord for the gift of life and pray for his daily food. Basically, praying to see an animal that he will kill and feed on. In the same desert, a gazelle wakes up and thanks the Lord for the gift of life and pray not to be eaten by the lion. 2 opposite prayers to the same God. Give us this day our daily bread and deliver us from evil. The lion running after the gazelle and the gazelle running away from the lion. Here is the moral of the story. Whichever side you are, the lion or the gazelle, the employer or the employee, the teacher or the student, just keep running. An African proverb says, when you see an elderly person in the bush, running, sweating, and breathing heavily, If it is not chasing something, something is chasing him. Don't let poverty chase you. Chase your dreams and make them a reality. Go for gold.